Hey guys, Brig here, and today we're going to be talking about the new profession updates coming in patch 8.2, and we're going to be ranking the professions in terms of what I think is going to be best for gold making when the patch goes live. Now there is going to be a full-on profession reset, so what that basically means is it's the same what happened when Argus came out last expansion. So they just completely update all the new professions, upgraded item levels to craft, and all the flasks and everything get upgraded, the enchants, there's all new gems, all of that stuff basically is coming in. So it's going to be a lot of changes, nothing too exciting really, apart from a couple of things which we'll talk about, but certainly there are some interesting changes. Okay, so what I'm going to rank as the worst profession in 8.2 is going to be Jewelcrafting. Now Jewelcrafting has been pretty bad the whole of BFA, and it's not looking like it's getting any better in 8.2. All they are basically doing is getting a load of new gems, so each of the gems is just being updated. So instead of getting 80 strength, you get 120. Instead of getting 40 crit, you get 60. So it's the same kind of thing that happened in Argus last expansion, and it's really not very interesting. I think the problem with Jewelcrafting in BFA is that loads of people have it for the rings, you know, the bind on pickup rings that you can get. So loads and loads of raiders actually have Jewelcrafting, and this means the competition has kind of gone up. And it's so easy to do. You don't really need anything apart from a couple of materials that you get from mass prospecting. It's really easy to create the different gems, and it just hasn't been profitable, at least not for me. Maybe you guys think it's been profitable, but I really haven't seen any profits, and that's definitely not going to change. All they're doing is just changing the gems. So it's not going to do much, and that's why Jewelcrafting I'm going to put as last. Next up is engineering. So these are all the new engineering items coming in. So it's all the different goggles which are bind on pickup, so that's not useful for gold making. A couple of weapons, so all the weapons are going to 370. In fact, all of the crafted items, guys, are now moving to 370 instead of 350 or whatever they are now. So small updates, sort of 20 or 30 item level, but nothing too great. I think people will buy them for their alts, which should be good, but there isn't anything too interesting. The Blingchong 7000 is nice, but again, that's not really a gold making thing. And then a couple of toys, but nothing too interesting, unfortunately, for engineers. I have been a bit disappointed with engineering this expansion. I made a lot more gold with it last expansion, and again, it isn't improving too much with 8.2, but at least it's getting something. Okay, so next up, the third worst ranked professions. I'm going to put the 3 gear crafting professions, so blacksmithing, tailoring, and leatherworking. Now, I think these won't do too badly because, like I say, they're getting loads of new 370 item level stuff, so for alts, they're going to be fairly good, and obviously blacksmithing has all the weapons and all the plate gear. Leatherworking and tailoring obviously have the different ones, but I think they're going to be not too bad, but also not great. I mean, it's a bit boring. All they're really doing is putting the item level up, and 370 and 8.2 isn't going to be that great. But again, people will still buy it for their alts, and it should be something. I think one of the things that will really make or break these professions is the new mount ability things. So you know they're getting this new mount gear, which you can add onto the mount slot. So blacksmithing have the walk on water one, which is going to be pretty powerful, because lots of people will want that, particularly as they've got rid of it from the water strider. So that could be a good reason for blacksmithing. And similarly for the other ones, we have tailoring, which has the slow fall ability. Don't know how that's going to work really. And then the leatherworking, which is the protection from days. So I'm not sure how these are going to sell. They could sell really well, particularly the blacksmithing one, or they could sell not so great. So that's why I'm probably going to put blacksmithing ahead of leatherworking and tailoring, just because the walk on water mounts gear thing is going to be really overpowered, I think, and if they sell for a reasonable amount, you should make some gold from them. Okay, so for number 3 and number 2, it's very, very close. I think I'm going to put Alchemy as number 3. Now, this could be really, really good, or it could just be average. I'm really not sure. So again, just like some of the other professions, they're upgrading all of the old flasks and giving you new ones. And there are going to be new herbs as well that are used to make these. So obviously with the new herbs, you have the new flasks, and it's all just upgraded versions. Shouldn't really do anything that interesting for gold making, because the people who used to buy the old ones will now buy the new ones, and it's not going to do too much, I don't think. But they are adding 4 more interesting potions, which I think should be quite cool. So they're having one which will cause you to increase crit on a foe for 20%. There will be another one which increases your primary stat by 360, and then if there's more enemies you get more. Another one which is a kind of healing one which restores extra health, and then a final one which is just a bit of fire damage. I mean, these aren't that interesting, but at least there's something. Will these sell for a lot? I'm not sure, but I think if they're good, particularly maybe for Mythic Plus, maybe one of these ones in Mythic Plus could be good. And I think it just gives you something extra for Alchemy, which is why I think Alchemy is going to be ranked higher. Not only do you get all the different upgraded things, but you also get some extra things that maybe won't sell as much, but it might sell for a bit more profit. And if you're really big on Alchemy, it's been fairly good, this expansion, Alchemy, to be honest. And I think it's going to be even better with these. So that's why Alchemy is ranked number 3. So at number 2, pretty close with Alchemy, is Enchanting. And a similar thing again, all of the stats have gone up. So instead of 37, you get 60 for the rings, for example. The Scepter wand thing's also gone up, but I mean, does anyone buy the wands? I don't sell the wands very well. And there's 4 new weapon enchants, which are actually seem quite overpowered. I mean, another healing one, and some more ones. They're actually very similar, to be honest, to the potions. The new potions, the new weapon enchants. It's something kind of cool. Will they sell? Depends how good they are again. I think they probably will, and again, the more options you get, the more variety, the more chance of better sales. So it's only a good thing. Interestingly, for Enchanting, they aren't, as far as I know, they aren't including any new sort of enchanting materials. So if you want to stock up on enchanting materials like crystals and everything, from this patch, they may well go up in price when 8.2 hits, because there's no more new ones and people will still be wanting the new recipes. So it might be a good idea to stock up on enchanting materials, because, like I say, there's no new ones coming in. And enchanters also get a mount equipment, increase your speed by 20%. Only works for ground mounts, which, people are going to be flying around in 8.2, but I mean, still 20% mount speed is pretty good. So this, combined with the new enchants and the very new weapon enchants, I think should make Enchanting pretty good. It's already pretty good. It's already one of the best professions, and this is going to help it out even more. But at number 1, I am going to put Inscription. So again, the contracts should sell fairly well at the start of the patch for the new factions, because people want to get them to Exalted as quickly as possible. Obviously a new Vantis rune. I hate the Vantis rune system. I think it's stupid. It never makes gold on my servers. Maybe on low pop servers it does, but not for me. But at least the contracts is something. Again, 370 offhand. That should be quite useful actually, particularly for certain classes. The offhands do sell quite well. And then the most interesting thing is these new trinkets. Now, if you think back to the start of the expansion, by far the most profitable thing ever was creating the Darkmoon Faire trinkets and selling them. It makes you crazy, crazy gold. Now, will these be as good as the Darkmoon Faire trinkets? Probably not, but they are 400 item level, whereas everyone else is only getting 370 item level bits. But Inscribes are getting 400 item level trinkets bind on equip, and they all have different stats. I mean, the different procs they have seem quite overpowered. Whether they will be or not, we're going to have to check some simulations and all that later on. But I am quite excited about these. They don't have no trinkets have secondary stats, I don't think. So, but anyway, they're going to be pretty good, and I think this is going to make Inscription very, very powerful in the new patch. Now, I don't think these are going to be amazing for raiding, I'm not certain, but 400 item level isn't that good for 8.2. However, for alts, or for like your second character, 400 item level immediately is really overpowered. It's a lot better than the 370 that every other profession gets. And having a 400 trinket, which has your main stat and a nice proc, could be pretty powerful. So I do think these are going to sell well. I do think combined with the contracts and combined with everything else that scribes already have, because Inscription was already a pretty good profession because it's got so much variety, and this is just going to make it even better, and I think it's going to put Inscription as one of the best, if not the best profession in patch 8.2. But we'll see how it goes. What do you guys think? Do you think these are going to sell at all? I mean, they do require Expulsum, so it's not going to be incredibly easy to make these. At least there is some kind of block to making these. It's not like the gems where you can just make them without anything. At least you do need some Expulsum. So they could sell for a fair amount of gold. It'll be interesting to see. Haven't really talked about cooking because anyone can get cooking. But they are just upgrading all of the feasts, making them better, using the new fish. So cooking should still be alright, as it always is. I suggest all of you get it on your main. It's just a bit of extra gold. Particularly when the raids come out, the feast can sell for quite a lot, so it can make you a bit of decent gold. Anyway guys, that's about it. I'm not too pleased with all of these changes. I think particularly for the crafting professions, it's very boring. Okay, the mount thing's kind of cool. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how well those are going to sell. Obviously, upgrading to 370 is good because having 340 item level crafted gear in patch 8.2 would be really stupid. So 370 is something, but it's not exactly very interesting, is it? And it's still not anything amazing. Some of the other professions as well, they're just kind of resetting them for no real reason. Like they're just using the new herbs that you get in the new area to create new potions. I don't know, it just doesn't seem that exciting to me. But at least it is something, and it should help give a boost to the economy. And maybe if some players come back, we can actually start making some serious gold again. But thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, see ya.